Since 2016, Andrew Rea has been teaching folks how to cook via his YouTube show, Binging with Babish. In just a few short years, he's grown the channel to an impressive 8 million subscribers and netted cookbook and kitchenware deals along the way. This is the untold truth of Andrew Rea. Internet sensation chef Andrew Rea is proud that he grew up in Rochester, New York, and although he's moved downstate to New York City, Rochester remains very much in his heart. In interviews and in his instructional videos, Rea gives generous shoutouts to his hometown. As a native of Rochester, he feels contractually obliged to cheer on the home team, the Buffalo Bills. And one of many visits home left him so, quote, tumescent with hometown pride that he devoted an entire episode to rustling up Rochester's official dish, the garbage plate. A more permanent testament to his Rochester love is what he referred to in a Wired Q&A as his hometown pride tattoo. Located on his right inner forearm, the stylized EKC represents the original logo of the homegrown Eastman Kodak Company. Aside from paying homage to his roots, Rea claims the tattoo serves as a constant reminder to never get stuck in his ways, but to keep looking forward. Rea insists that he's not a chef, but rather an enthusiastic home cook. According to Wired, the sum total of his restaurant experience consists of gigs as a crepe maker at Simply Crepes in Rochester and a dessert plater at a Brooklyn restaurant called The Chocolate Room. According to Forbes, Rea credits his mother for his love of cooking. As a kid, she taught him how to make comforting essentials, ranging from hearty stews to chocolate chip cookies. Tragically, Andrew was only 11 when his mother passed away. Cooking became and continues to be a connection with his mother and a way to honor her memory. Still, Rea emphasizes that he's no expert, despite learning countless tricks and techniques since he began cooking on Binging with Babish. He prefers to describe himself as your local goofball screwing things up and burning things now and then. He said that owning culinary errors makes cooking more accessible to those who tune into his videos, and are reassured that they don't have to be Martha Stewart perfect to set foot in a kitchen.
I am a home cook, and I want people to see what I do and think, if this doofus can do it, surely I can do it.
How much of a Frasier fan is Andrew Rea? In 2016, when he uploaded his first Binging with Babish videos to YouTube, the signature opener was a clip from the Frasier theme song, Tossed Salad and Scrambled Eggs. He reluctantly relinquished the tune when he decided to monetize his YouTube channel, but never dialed down the love for the 1990s sitcom.
I can tell you that I have seen any given episode of Frasier at least 9 times. And I'm not exaggerating, I've counted.
Rea has paid more explicit homage to the series in 2 episodes of Binging with Babish. One was devoted to eggs Florentine with English muffins made from scratch. The other was a Frasier special dedicated to the memory of actor John Mahoney, who played Frasier's father, Marty. The homage featured Rea preparing Cornish game hen with pomegranate honey sauce, along with Marty's favorite barbecue-flavored pudding chips. As Rea confessed on Twitter, I sometimes fool around about Frasier. The fact is, it's been an important fixture in my life. Long before viewers laid eyes on Andrew Rea, he's had tattoos, and they've made him instantly recognizable, as have his beard, bald pate, and black-framed glasses, which all feature on the Binging with Babish logo. In his early videos, the only visible parts of Rea were his torso, arms, and hands. Rea's first tattoo was a chef's knife and whisk on his inner left forearm. The tattoo is a badge of pride for Rea as a reminder to be true to yourself. Other significant symbols have followed, including a lens focal length diagram and a mark on his bicep reading Katrina Code, a survival cry that was spray painted on houses in the wake of Hurricane Katrina because New Orleans is Rea's favorite city. There is also a moon, a chicken, and a frame-forward symbol as an ode to his days working in film editing. And there's a giant cilantro tattoo on his upper left arm. According to Harper's Bazaar, it's an herb he actively avoids because he hates cilantro so much, which is why the tattoo grows straight out of his armpit. It's no coincidence that Binging with Babish revolves around recipes cited in iconic films and TV series. Andrew Rea attended Hofstra University in Long Island, New York, where he majored in film studies and production. After graduating in 2009, he interned and worked part-time for various post-production companies before landing a job in 2010 creating 3D visual effects. He was still working full-time when he made his first Babish video in February 2016. Rea told Inverse that he was at a low point in his life, feeling depressed and unfulfilled. With the idea of spreading his wings as a freelancer, he invested $6,000 in a digital camera, lights, and software, and tested the equipment by making a tutorial for a gourmet turkey burger featured on an episode of the hit sitcom Parks and Recreation. Rea uploaded his video to Reddit with the name Binging with Babish. Babish, a minor character from The West Wing, received comments from some 2,000 viewers that were so positive, Rea followed up with subsequent videos, spending more time on the filming and editing processes.
I only intended to make the one. People liked it. I made another one. People liked that. I made another one, and here we are now.
Inverse notes that the videos felt spontaneous and experimental, but they were well produced. As a fan commented on his Parks and Rec video, "This is the beginning of an era." In 1998, the hit series Friends aired a Thanksgiving episode in which Monica gifts Ross a sandwich made of Thanksgiving leftovers. The key to the sandwich's success was Monica secretly placing an extra slice of gravy-soaked bread in the sandwich's middle. Just as Monica's recipe was a hit, Rea's recreation of it on a Binging with Babish episode went viral, with BuzzFeed, Entertainment Weekly, Grub Street, and The Washington Post touting Rea as a rising star of the new media elite. Uproxx notes the genius of Binging with Babish's concept, stating that when Rea entered the YouTubiverse as a next to nobody, his content was linked to popular shows with fan bases ripe for tapping into. Rea agrees, pointing out that the Moist Maker Friends episode scored him over 2 million views and tens of thousands of new subscribers. And thanks to funds from Patreon donors amounting to upwards of $10,000 a month, Rea was able to quit his day job and devote himself full-time to producing weekly episodes of Binging with Babish, all thanks to his sandwich. Andrew Rea has confessed that the happiest day of his life was when he met his hero, Jon Favreau, the ridiculously prolific actor, director, producer, screenwriter, chef. In the culinary universe alone, Favreau earned acclaim for his 2014 film Chef, which spawned his equally acclaimed Netflix cooking series, The Chef Show. The filmmaker had discovered Binging with Babish after his kids forced him to watch it. As Rea tells Forbes, after trading tweets, he sent Favreau a letter asking him if he wanted to have a beer or make an appearance on Binging with Babish. Weeks later, Rea was flying out to LA to be on Favreau's The Chef Show, and soon thereafter, Favreau appeared on Babish. When Rea later published his Binging with Babish cookbook, Favreau brought him to tears with a beautifully written foreword. In a GQ feature, Andrew Rea notes that his self-declared essentials, which range from serious underwear to quality bourbon, include an arsenal of meds. There's Lactaid for his lactose intolerance, antidepressants for his depression, and Flonase for allergies. There's also an EpiPen he keeps with him due to a potentially fatal allergy. While filming 2 separate episodes of his show, Rea found himself turning red and struggling to breathe, and doctors failed to discover the culprit behind these reactions. According to Wired, since the only thing Rea had eaten prior to these episodes was a banana, he assumes they were the cause, and now avoids them like the plague. Despite his banana phobia, Rea boldly tackles banana-centric recipes on his shows. In one episode of Binging with Babish, he whipped up a banana pudding pizza with his friend, business partner Sawyer, acting as a taste tester. Andrew Rea has been fairly discreet about his love life. Shortly after launching Babish, he confessed in a 2016 Reddit Q&A to having married his high school sweetheart in 2014 after they'd been together for 10 years. 4 years later, he mentioned that he'd gone through a divorce in 2017. In a 2020 GQ interview, Rea alluded to his marriage when he copped to having had a country barn wedding, prior to which he went into anaphylactic shock. This was probably induced by having eaten bananas earlier in the day, but in retrospect, Rea wryly suggests it was an omen. But becoming, as he calls it, attached to editor-producer Jessica Opon in 2019 has made Rea a happy man. In October 2020, he commemorated their first-year anniversary on Instagram by giving a shout-out to his best friend, confidant, and love of his life. Proof of how high Andrew Rea's star has risen since the debut of Binging with Babish in 2016 is that he's now master of his own culinary universe. In 2017, Rea launched Basics with Babish, a series that teaches basic cooking techniques to beginners. 2 years later, Being with Babish offered Rea the chance to expand his horizons as he traveled around the country, cooking and connecting with fans. But in 2020, everything changed due to COVID-19, forcing people to stay at home, watch YouTube videos, and cook, often one comforting pandemic pastime feeding the other. The Los Angeles Times reports that since mid-March, the average daily views of YouTube videos whose titles include the phrase "cook with me" soared by over 100%. Rea was already in an expansive frame of mind. He'd moved from his Soho apartment into a 6th-floor Brooklyn townhouse with a 2-kitchen studio. Then in September, he introduced his 8 million subscribers to Stump Sola, a new series starring Sola El-Waylly, the YouTube sensation who had famously left Bon Appetit due to alleged race-based pay discrepancies. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Rea's Binging with Babish empire building is poised to become a major publisher of cooking and lifestyle content. The Babish Culinary Universe is about more than just videos, and to prove it, at the end of 2020, Andrew Rea launched his own line of cookware produced by Gibson USA. The Babish-branded collection isn't Gibson's first co-effort with a celebrity, carrying lines created by Martha Stewart and Chrissy Teigen. But Homeworld Business points out that it does mark the first collaboration between the company and an online influencer, providing Gibson access to younger consumers that follow self-taught creators such as Rea. Even before the products go on sale, Rea has been showcasing them in his videos, creating culinary buzz for the unique, Rea-designed equipment. An example of which is a pan whose tapered edges make it easier to whisk over a flame. Rea told Homeworld Business Gibson's developers went all out in helping him actualize, quote, every harebrained idea that crossed his mind. For his part, Rea has done tests in the kitchen with every pot, pan, and knife to guarantee they live up to his standards, while still promoting fun in the kitchen. No culinary universe is ever quite complete without a restaurant, or in the case of Brooklyn-based Andrew Rea, a brewpub. In a 2019 interview with Forbes, Rea floated the idea of opening up a brewpub tentatively named the Babbery. Aside from coming in for Babish-prepared drinks and nibbles, customers would be able to check out Rea in full-on Babish mode, filming in the brewpub's studio bar. In an interview with Fast Forward Weekly, Rea admits his dream in creating a brewpub studio space is to provide the kind of lively interaction offered during the early days of Disney MGM Studios, when visitors to the Orlando Film and TV studio could eat and drink on the working lot, mingling with stars and crew. Rea's utopian vision is that anybody who wants to can come and host cooking classes, demonstrations, and tastings, as well as culinary and cultural events. But it's not due to open any time in the near future, as Rea confessed during a March 2020 interview with Wired that, due to the pandemic, plans to open the pub in 2020 have been pushed back to 2021. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more mashed videos about home cooking are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.